Okay, we are at Taq-e Bostan, which are carvings. These carvings Sasanian from the 4th through 7th century. This is the oldest one in the center, we'll talk about that in a minute. That's from the mid-4th century, and these are from the mid-7th century. And the Sasanians, obviously the major opponents of the Roman Empire in the east. We're sitting under this massive mountain here where they were carved just outside of the city of Kermanshah. This is part of the same mountain complex as Taq Bostan. Let's go look. First of all, the amount of water coming out from the spring. So here's the spring on the left, on the right side, and apparently this is usually dry, but because we're the spring and they had apparently a lot of snowfall, they're not quite sure, we have an enormous amount of water coming up. You can actually see it bubbling over there. Here's a better shot. We're at the base of this monolithic mountain, and you can see they've actually carved steps up there, and then way up there, steps carved to the top for, I guess, more carvings they never got a chance to do. Alright, let's look at the carvings in more detail. So this is the first carving, mid-300s, 340 or so. It's Ardashir II in the middle, receiving the ring of royalty, either from Shapur, previous king, or perhaps from Ahura Mazda, with Mithra standing behind God. And you can see down here that they're standing on a body. That is the Emperor Julian, the Roman Emperor Julian, the apostate, last pagan emperor of Rome. And they're standing on his body because he defeated him in battle. Let's look at the other ones. Here we have second arch, next oldest one. Shapur the second on the right and Shapur the third on the left. So this is 380s. And you can see their top knots, their headdresses. Just to the side you can see their inscriptions in Sassanian. Tough to read. Alright, let's look at the main arch. So now this is the main arch, large arch, commemorating Khosrau II. So we are in the time of 600. He ruled from late 5s to early 6s, and it was his wars with the Romans, Byzantines actually, that so depleted the treasury and exhausted them that when Islam came in, the empire collapsed later. We have two angels above. You can see the pretty intricate carving. And to each side, we'll just take a look, there's a hunting scene. Okay, here's the first hunting scene. See if we can show that. Very difficult to see in this light. And on the other side, the second hunting scene. And very difficult to see, you can hardly see the elephants in there on the left side, and almost the hunting of the boars on the right side. The coloured portion on top, that's actually 18th century, Qajar. There we have it. And the Iranians taking their own photos.